Excuse me. Okay. All right, Virgo. Hi. This is Tarot Lumination with your Jupiter and Scorpio report for 2017 to 2018. Okay, it's a year-long transit, roughly. So it's kind of a big deal. Okay, so we're going to make the best of it. You can see we've kind of tried to lay it out in a way that gives you a lot of information, hopefully, that you can find useful. We're going to do a really short report, though. And the idea is that if you have to, please stop, pause, rewind as necessary to integrate this all into your understanding, because we don't have time to do it here in the reports. So let's just get to the basics. So we're talking about Jupiter in Scorpio. It's coming up in early October. So look at the planet Jupiter. These are the key themes and keywords of Jupiter. It's like the energy that Jupiter radiates. The great benefic, truth, good fortune, expansion, travel, healing, and optimism, opportunity, higher learning, higher consciousness, the search for higher consciousness, the acquisition of higher consciousness. Excuse me, people, sorry. Now you take all that fuel and you pump that through the lens of Scorpio, the nozzle of Scorpio, and what have you got? Take these Scorpio themes, if you can imagine pumping this through this. Classics are power, intensity, depth, joint resources, deep soul merger, and going higher frequency up into transformation, soul healing, and ultimately transformational healing. The ripping away of anything, everything that does not serve you, and leaving only that which is good for you, which is very much about the energy of the surgeon doing what they have to do. Okay, not a pretty job. Not everybody wants to do it, but someone's got to do it. Anyway, what we'll do now is look at you, Virgo. So take everything that we just talked about here. Pause if you have to. Click. Put it all together and look at it here. So Virgo, for you, this is all happening in your third house. That's your third house, basically, of communications and interactions with the rest of the world. Anything from speaking and listening, learning and teaching, day-to-day communications, activities in business, in day-to-day life, just living your life, frankly, because so much of our life is conducted through the process of communication. It's very hard to live without communicating. So it's an extremely important energy to understand. And also, you know, there's a ton more we could talk about this, but if you want, you can watch some astrology channels all about the third house. Just go for it. But in the meantime, let's get on with your reading. What we're going to do here is try and interpret how Jupiter in Scorpio, as it moves through your third house of communications, would potentially manifest. So it could be, it's definitely to do with opportunity and growing bigger and bigger in that area of life, but it's happening in a very intense way. Okay, so, and there's no way out of it, and it could be very transformational, and there's no way out of that either. So if you're not comfortable or used to the energy of transformation, then it can, you know, leave you feeling like you want to hold on to something really tight so that you don't have to go through the process of like deep soul healing or massive transformational healing, you know, because you might just want to hold on to the status quo and just live with what is in terms of how you communicate, how you listen, and just your knowledge and understanding of the world. But there's no way out of it. Big change is underway, and it's for your benefit. It's ultimately all for your benefit and growth and expansion and luck. So let's have a look. We're going to do a little tarot reading like this, and you're just like the others. You're going to watch for your sun, moon, and rising, tell the whole story, put it all together. It's just kind of like what we do on the Sunday Night Live, just an extra card or so. No jumpers, flyers, oracles, no reversals. We're just going to keep it very stripped down, bare bone and simple. And we'll just tell a little story, do the best we can for you, Virgo, so that you can have an awesome transit over the next year. course, you'll feel it most when it hits you exactly on the degree of where that degree point is in your Scorpio chart. Everyone has Scorpio at some degree in their chart. So anyway, that's for the astrologers, okay? All right, let's have a look here. Cards were already, excuse me, well shuffled in advance. I'm just trying to take it to the last second so you are a witness. All right, that's good. All right, we're going to cut to break it all up. Seriously break that up. Okay. And now we're going to see what happens. This is your situation. This is your opportunity. Jupiter is all about opportunity and how that's going to unfold in your third house of communications and day-to-day interactions, teaching and learning. And here's the challenge with all of that, because there's always a challenge. And here's how you're going to make the best of it, how you're going to handle it so that it works for you and you don't trip up and slip up or get hurt by others, or that you hurt others in the process of your growth and expansion. Let's have a look. Down here is the weather. Wow. Big changes afoot for you, Virgo, as you are essentially being, let's say, blessed from above. This is your amazing time and amazing opportunity for you, Virgo. It just happens that Scorpio energy is very comfortable with Virgo energy. They're very complementary. And so it could feel like divine timing is working for you in such a way that your ability to communicate and understand and listen is drastically on a road for improvement. And your communications with significant others and others' significant communications with you are all headed for large improvements. And wherever you might have slipped up in the past, been hurt by others, or where you might have hurt others with your communications, it's all going to dissolve and fall away and be forgiven, and you will be redeemed going forward. It's extremely liberating here, okay? This is very good news for you, Virgo. Divine liberation, truly divine liberation, but it is sort of conditional because you can't go back to the old ways. With this much liberation, it's like you are being granted like complete freedom and redemption from all of the errors of the life of the past, loaded on you and you loaded on others. But we are being advised that you don't go back and revisit the past in that way. You don't make the same mistakes again, okay? So move on, okay, Virgo? What's the situation? Whoa, okay. Well, my feeling here with the Hierophant is that it's all about bringing a much higher degree of order and compliance and, let's say, codes of honor and working protocols in your life going forward, and trying to do it in a way that you can lock it down, like you could write it out as almost like the Constitution or a mission statement, you know, like have countries have constitutions, corporations and businesses have mission statements saying, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is how we're going to do it, this is our purpose, this is our mission, this is why we're doing it, and these are the things that are the most important for us, and so on and so on. And it becomes a code. Like you could have a list of your 10 most important codes, and then you lock them down. And let's say harmonizing that in such a way that it is an irrefutable code. It isn't just your own personal wishes about how you wish things could be. It's in compliance with universal law so that it is irrefutable. It's about rising up to much higher, more honorable levels of communications with self and others, much more truthful levels of communication with self of others, to the point where it's irrefutable and there's no question about it, and there's no going back to the old ways or slacking with standards, okay? Two very, very powerful cards to bring you into this transit, Virgo, and it's good. It's very, very good news. And it could also happen in such a way that by allowing this to happen in your life, you can, let's say, become a beacon of honor and respect and authority and dignity to whom others look to for guidance and uh, understanding of the code on a grand scale. So that's a big, let's say that's a big hat to wear. I don't know if you can see that, but that is a very, very big crown. It's a bigger crown than any of the regal cards in the deck, okay? So it's kind of a big deal, all right? I know for you Virgos, you like things to be kind of sweet and safe and comfortable and orderly, but we're taking it all up to a whole new level now, especially when it comes to the world of communications with your closest members in your life, in your world, and how that pans out into the rest of your world, because the communications are so, so important for you, Virgo. Now, what's the opportunity here? Wow, to cut out anything that is not true. In other words, one of the codes that's going to have to be instituted in your new way of being moving forward as you grow and expand and seize the opportunity to grow and expand in this part of your life, perhaps becoming an expert communicator who has to live by the code. It means you have to honor the code, and that means a willingness to cut out anything that is not in compliance with the code. And the Queen of Swords is the ultimate card of being unwilling to tolerate anything that is fake, false, bogus, phony, deceptive, like the energy of betrayal, cheating, lies, sneakiness, anything like that. That has to go. And it's an amazing opportunity for this to happen. It's just that it puts you under a heavy burden, where by calling it out, by saying to yourself and your others in your world around you, enough is enough. We have to live by the code. We have to live our truth. We need honesty, because this cannot be conducted or effectively honored without honesty. Okay, honesty is going to be very, very important for you going forward over the next year, integrating honesty more and more and more and more into your day-to-day communications, where, I don't know, it might not be so much fun to do that. The Queen of Swords, of course, doesn't really care whenever she has to like draw that line and say, wait a minute, this is bogus. I'm sorry. You do not get to pass here. Thank you very much. Walk away, or you're going to have to tell the truth in order to honor and comply with the code. So what is the challenge here with all of this? Because this is a heavy crown to wear, Virgo. Luckily, this is very supportive energy, but what it can do is it can take you into like very intense conditions and circumstances where you are being called upon to like be this, not an arbiter, but a representative of the highest code, so to speak, having to live very, very honorably, which includes living honorably means living very truthfully, which also means being very intolerant of anything that is not true. I'm not talking about subjective truth. We're talking about universal truth here, which is ultimately about honesty. Okay, and we all know deep down when honesty is not being expressed. So what's the challenge? Okay, the challenge might be that this process could be very disorienting for you, because doing this major upgrade in that part of your life where you now have the chance to, let's say, live in a more dignified, honorable way, more truthful to yourself, more truthful to others, and demanding that others are more truthful and honest towards you. That's great, that's wonderful, but it puts you in a challenging position in that, for the last 12 years or so, you may not have had to operate that way. You may have been quite comfortably operating at, let's say, lower standards of integrity that did not match this code here. And it's been fine. It's worked for a long time, but now it's all no, 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 no. So that realization can put you in a position of like, oh my gosh, this is really disorienting, because you can see now the energy of truth coming back to you from your surroundings, your immediate friends, family, circumstances, and day-to-day world. And then you become very aware about the truth as it is expressed from you outwardly and expressively towards others, and seeing the huge difference that occurs in life and the life experience when you are living according to the very highest standards of truth and honesty, as opposed to adequate standards. And that can be very disorienting, because the truth can set you free, but the new world that unfolds to you, that would constitute, let's say, a world of honesty and truth and integrity, might feel very, very different from what you're used to already, to the point where it's very disturbing, very disorienting, to the point where it's almost like an out-of-body experience, like, whoa, what is actually happening here? Please, could somebody explain this to me? Well, actually, that's what we're trying to do here at Illumination. So we're going to try and give you a chance to figure out how to handle all this, because it's big shifts, big change. Okay, you handle it by handling it. With the Temperance card here, the whole idea is to understand that this is a vast alchemical reaction that's happening here at the very deepest soul levels of your communications, okay? Where mundane, everyday communications that might have been adequate and, let's say, okay, perhaps sloppy, aren't going to work anymore. We're rising to a much higher standard where it's going to be communications at the deep soul level, and it's going to perhaps trigger a lot of emotional impact in yourself and your others in your life, and it's going to affect everyone around you at the level of, integrity about how you integrate with the world around you. But ultimately, with the Temperance card, it's very, very much about healing. So it takes us straight over to here, where this whole transit is very, very much a very powerful healing opportunity, healing experience for you, where all you have to do is be willing to live through the experience. And no matter how disorienting or weird this might be, and that's up to you to figure out how to do that, or what those might translate into your life. But the beauty of this is that you're going to do it, and you can handle it. You have more than enough strength and power to do it, and you're totally blessed from up above. So don't worry, okay? You'll be just fine, Virgo, no matter how disorienting this might be as you go through this major upgrade. All right, make the best of it, Virgo. Thank you. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Bye-bye.